My interactions in the real world are very different than the way that people present me online and the way that people reflect on who I am online, especially in on Twitch or on Reddit. Let's hear this speech. It's just pieces of it.
Play this clip of Hasan because it's a little inspirational one.
Sure.
We should make it a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie. I look back at my speech and I cringe. I'm so terrible at giving public speeches. I need to get better at it. I need to work and get better at giving public speeches.
Doing Russell Brand. We may have to replay the Hasan clip after that. Hasan went to Cambridge, not the one in Massachusetts, but the one over on the other side of the pond, as it were.
Here we go. We blasted off.
He quoted Michael Brooks too. Maybe we should play. Let's play both these clips. Hasan is there.
I love that he did the professor look too. I mean, he knew what to wear for this kind of event. Like, he's nearing a tweed jacket there. It's not quite tweed, but
The master of public speaking is the gay redhead interlocutor who owned you in the marketplace of ideas with facts and logic. Yeah, your speech was good. You just ended weirdly.
very professorial, Hasan.
I like. It is amazing that they have sport coats like that you can actually get around. The guy's massive.
Yeah, he's tall.
His arms.
Glaze.
I can't believe it's loose around the arms. Go
Why
ahead.
don't you calm down over there?
And I stand before you following the footsteps of intellectual giants as nothing but a simple man who understands right from wrong. And sometimes that's all that matters. In the words of my friend, the late great Michael Jamal Brooks, there's nothing complicated about apartheid. The morality of it is clear. If the roles were reversed and a captive Jewish population of 5 million people were being systematically starved, sieged, and dominated, everyone would understand what's going on. Its ancestral lands being destroyed, everyone would understand what's going on. So in his words, it's not a complex issue. It's super simple. It's the most powerful country in the Middle East. It's backed by the United States, the most powerful country on the planet, and it acts on another population of people with total impunity and is never held accountable for anything. Well, I guess some things are changing in that regard, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But there is no symmetry in this relationship, period. That's what Michael Jamal Brooks said. So I see no need for obfuscation, no arguments for complexity, no reasoning.
What is happening with the camera, Marge? Goddamn.
For preemptive genocide. Israel is an apartheid state, and its inception was a violent one with the forced displacement of 700,000.
Did you really write this speech a day before, like you were saying? If so, that's amazing. Dog, I didn't write the speech a day before. I wrote it on the car ride up. And my Oxford speech, I also wrote on the car ride up as well.
Gave birth to a settler colonial entity that continues to dominate the lives of more than 5 million Palestinians under its illegal occupation, totaling 15 million Palestinians around the globe that are permanently displaced. Its demographic concerns is
good for him, citing Brooks. Mike,
I saw the stream live. It was like this. Yeah.
Like that. Many people have watched that clip of Michael Brooks saying that. And Hasan went on to basically with a message of hope, as it were. It is completely understandable that people are feeling a little bit exhausted already and demoralized, and but there's plenty of examples in just the U.S. history alone of times that were even more despairing than we should now. And in many ways, we have more mechanisms for people to influence outcomes of things like happen with our government. And so here's Hasan wrapping up at in Cambridge.
time, people are distrustful of the news. Platforms like Twitter routinely surface the worst of the worst kinds of content, but the most divisive, most hateful content. But Elon Musk is not the only person responsible for this. And I hate Elon Musk, okay? I hate Elon Musk as much as you guys hate Oxford College. I heard that if I say that, I'll get some applause breaks there. So that was my exit ramp. But it's not just Elon Musk, it's not just Twitter. It's happening all around. Young people, men in particular.
March, why'd they crop it like that? Don't even come in here. Don't even come in here and be like, why did they crop it like that? Don't start with me, March. You wobbled this the whole time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care.
Who don't have much education or literacy skills with no hopeful prospects of the future are being propagandized by waves of right-wing influencers who have never had megaphones this loud. Although this issue most often gets brought up in the context of the 2024 election and Donald Trump, there's more to this. I think it's important to connect it to Palestine as well. These are forces who want to normalize the current levels of violence and to convince people that actually it's good to be this bloodthirsty. While it was Joe Biden who gave Israel the blank check with which to commit a genocide, that decision has created an entire galaxy of right-wingers who are actually in position to cash it. And cash it they are, currently. If you've seen the Donald Trump cabinet picks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The traditional forces that could keep this kind of thing in check, particularly in politics and in media, are unfortunately weak. And they're getting weaker by the moment. They're out of power. They're broke. They're technologically weak. They don't understand the space. They don't understand the online content creation sphere. And I feel like they've, most importantly, with their coverage of Gaza, discredited themselves to an entire generation. It seems right now that those people who genuinely desire for a better future, who want an alternative to the genocide, will have to start looking amongst themselves, looking within themselves, their friends, and away from the mainstream if they want to help bring something like justice into the world. So I stand before you as a man who simply wants some semblance of justice for the Palestinians. I urge you not to lean into nihilism and succumb to helplessness, because you do not need the academic pedigree to know right from wrong. All you need is your moral compass. As someone who has seen the Palestine question evolve over my past 10 years of public advocacy, I never would have imagined international organs demand legal restitution from America's most valuable asset. After all, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. Thank you.
Good for him.
That's great. It's great. Hasan is getting more coverage, more attention. Him being on PodSave, him going on with CNN and pissing off Bakari sellers.
Yeah, people are telling me that like there's like older people now, you know what I mean? There's older people watching. I gotta change my rhetoric a little bit. There's like unks and aunties and grandmas and grandpas watching now.
I didn't even watch that. I was like, this will put my blood pressure way too high. But
your coverage of Syria has been awful and very disappointing. Wait, what? Why? I can't win with these people because I feel like if I were to take the Turkish government's line, they'd be like, Hasan is a Turkish agent. Okay, Hasan is a Turkish agent, and he's defending the Turkish government's interventions. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a point where you're making the rebels seem like good guys. No. Yeah, I think once again, as always, when I have these when I talk about these things, considering that like virtually every single angle here is just bad, and the people in Syria are the ones who are victim to it no matter what. You know, there is no world where I can get anybody, no one is going to be happy. There's people who are just straight up like, oh yeah, I'm an Assadist, and I think you're not giving adequate respect to the Ba'athist legend, okay, the Lion of Damascus. And then there are other people who are like, no, you don't understand. These are actually reformed Al-Qaeda agents. And the Free Syrian Army is actually super sick. And Turkey's interest in stabilizing Syria and is actually liberatory in nature. Yeah, everybody knows the real terrorists are the student protesters on college campuses. Okay, that's my only position, is that if you're a student protester on a college campus, you're the real terrorist. And also Hamas. Those are the only ones. Those are the only bad guys in every story. Okay, understand. Themasius with a playlist. Okay, thank you, Themasius. Old heads glazing Hasan. Okay, enough. We've watched enough Glaze videos, I think. Oh, this clip was wild. They stream sniped her on the highway. What is this? W Hasan?
Going on Hasan streams, I always get in so much trouble, right? But like, it doesn't really bother me too much. I actually find it quite interesting that like he has so much motion and so much pull.
W motion.
Like, to me, it's like, if I really didn't like someone, I wouldn't be posting about them all the time. Mm-hmm. Or following what they're doing. Or like being obsessed with them. You know, it's weird. You know, people really just be like all up in his business.
Chat is just like, they're silly. Are they yapping?
No, it's just like the, yeah.
They're just yapping.
And I'm telling you, like,
fuck Hasan.
Because like, if you look at like the internet, like a lot of the internet paints us signs like this bad.
Chat is just like,
Chat is so funny because it's like so much motion but so many bad takes. It's like half of the chat is like W Hasan, and then the other chat is like he's a lol cow. And one when you know what that word is, automatically it's like if you get that triggered by the mere mention when you're watching a totally random streamer, okay, a totally different streamer, and they bring me up and you get so triggered where you're like, ugh, I hate him. I hate him so much. It's like, please, man, please get a life.
are they yapping?
No, it's just like the, yeah.
They're just yapping.
And I'm telling you, like, because like, if you look at like the internet, like a lot of the internet paints us signs like this bad guy. And I don't see him that way, right? And then I hang out with him in public, and like people genuinely love him.
Mm-hmm. He's cool.
Like, love him. But if it,
yeah, I mean that's it. Like my haters are very active, and the more we spend time online, the more like these weirdos get motion. But you see what it's like. You see what it's like when you when a hater is out and about in the real world, when they're like behaving in the way that they would online, but in the real world, and you're like, oh, ew. Watch the 30 seconds after that clip, Lamau. I don't care. It's like my real world experiences are very different. I got off the plane. Here, I'll give you an example. I get off the plane. I am about to leave. I'm about to exit customs, and someone comes up and they're like, "Oh my God, I would love to take a photo with you." It was a Mexican chatter, right? And she was super stoked to see me. Then I go to the coffee shop at LAX. Okay, I go to the coffee shop at LAX. The dude literally looks up at me. He's like, "Oh my God, I literally have you in my ear right now." Okay, he was like listening to my Cambridge speech in his ear while he was just like putting stuff down at the coffee shop. Hasanabi heads are everywhere, and they're not weirdos. You know what I mean? They're just like real people. So my interactions in the real world are very different than the way that people present me online and the way that people reflect on who I am online, especially in on Twitch or on Reddit or on Twitter. These are like platforms that are easy to brigade. Many platforms online, as long as you are dedicated, are pretty easy to brigade. So it's not something that you need to. It's not something that you need to pay close attention to, in my opinion. You don't speak for me, man. I'm weird. Oh yeah, you found him. There it is. God damn, y'all found him quick. That's crazy. Hasan Piker on Pod Save America was amazing. Bro was cooking this week from a week ago, and now I'm at Hasan the Hunt. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, the only time I've ever had like haters in the wild are pre-scheduled events where they like openly talk about infiltrating it. It's usually just like fans. And even the haters overall, like, they're pretty normal. They're even like, I mean, the haters overall in their reaction to me in person are not as like, sometimes they'll be sweaty. They'll be sweaty when they're like in the moment, in the pocket, when they want to be like, yeah, I'm going to get them. But like, it's not like a terrifying experience. Aren't you going to be late to Oxford? When are you flying out, big bro? Yeah.